Mark Foundation conducts their 5th edition of Mark Africa Asia Luminary under the patronage of His Excellency the President of Senegal, Mr. Macky Sall. Dr. Rasha Kellege, CEO of Mark Foundation and chairperson of the conference, welcomed the 10 African First Ladies, 15 Ministers of Health, and more than 1,000 healthcare providers and policymakers from 58 countries to open the sessions with the aim to improve access to quality healthcare solutions in the two continents.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Senegal, Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Senegal, my sister, Mariam Fall, Your Excellencies, distinguished sisters of Africa, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers of Health here present, members of the Fourth Estate, Professor Frank and Dr. Kellege of the Mark Foundation, distinguished guests, distinguished medical professionals and policymakers, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to address this high-level panel to discuss challenges and solutions to improve access to fertility and cancer care in Africa and Asia. The theme for this event, Mark More Than a Mother, and Mark Cancer Access Program could not be more timely and more urgent, especially for my country, Sierra Leone. Permit at the outset to register the commitment of the Office of the First Lady within the Presidency and the Government of Sierra Leone to these two programs. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I have heard and witnessed the personal stories of women in my country. I have felt their pain, insecurity, and fear, but I've also seen great strength and great hope among my fellow women. So therefore, while these two programs will strengthen global health security, my address is going to be particularly focused on the plight of the Sierra Leonean women. What can these two programs do for Sierra Leone? Your Excellencies, in my country, there are traditional and cultural mindsets that put the needs of a woman secondary to the needs of male family members. Regrettably, the health status, health care needs, nutritional needs, and financial needs of a woman are considered most of my people to less important. This is complicated by traditional belief that practice from early marriage and teenage pregnancy, polygamy, and cultural perception of infertility and disease processes. There are dominant belief that men are naturally superior to women, and everything that goes wrong, especially with fertility and sometimes with disease processes, are the fault of a woman. Often little attention is paid to the stress level and psychosocial needs of a woman, as they are virtually treated as second-class citizens in Africa. Therefore, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, the focus of this year's conference through the twin Mark programs excites me greatly. Sierra Leonean attitude towards female infertility is not progressive and informed. First, it is considered a female problem, never a man's problem, and men do not take sheer responsibility for the problems either. Infertility is also seen as a stigma in Sierra Leone society. Women who do not bear children when expected to are treated as outcasts and looked upon with disdain by both women and the male folk. They can be maltreated in marriages, especially in polygamous marriages. They can also suffer gender-based violence at the hands of men who translates their anger and frustration into physical beatings. Often, men get away with the abuse because even where there are laws, those laws are not enforced. In some cases, women are abandoned or divorced by their husbands and consequently lose all the financial security and social respect associated to marriages. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I have looked into the eyes of Sierra Leonean women who tell stories about their infertility. I see fear and I see loss of hope. I have listened to women unburden their hearts about the huge emotional and psychosocial stress, depression, and near suicidal thoughts they feel about their infertility. I have seen and heard about women resorting to desperate measures just to bear a child, from spiritual churches to traditional superstitious practices. Some other engage in self-harm rather than live with the stigma of infertility, destitution, and overt discrimination and maltreatments. The emptiness and insecurity infertility leave within a woman is unexplainable. Sierra Leonean women stand to gain tremendously from the Mark Modern and Mother initiative. Points of collaboration between the initiative and my office and the government of Sierra Leone could be public education campaigns on infertility that will challenge existing narratives that disadvantage women. The information campaign could identify stakeholders and opinion makers in various communities, use those stakeholders to communicate the well-designed message about infertility. I also believe that women or couple who want their own child must have access to well-managed quality and affordable infertility treatment in their own home country like Sierra Leone. This could include managed in IVF treatment centers. To deal with consequences of economic discrimination against women who are infertile, government could work with Mark Initiative to identify entrepreneurial training and small startup loans. All these are not only possible but doable with collaboration among the government, my office, and the Mark Initiative. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, I appreciate in particular the emphasis you have placed on cancer care in Sierra Leone. My country, Sierra Leone, has no facility for cancer care. The nearest facility are in Ghana, and those are available only for people who can afford the more than $15,000 for travel and care. As a country, Sierra Leone is in dire need of a cancer treatment hospital where patients, especially women, can get quality and equitable cancer care. According to the World Health Organization, cancer is the second leading cause of death globally. There is a prevalence of breast, colon, lungs, cervix, and stomach cancer among women. But what is more alarming is that according to the WHO and the international agencies for research on cancer, over 2,000 people developed and subsequently died of cancer each year in Sierra Leone. Of that number, 1,300 of those who died each year are women. They died mainly due to breast and cervical cancer. Some also died of liver cancer. More gloomily also is the evidence that 70% of all Sierra Leonean women diagnosed with cervical cancer will die of this preventable and curable disease. More frightening is the fact that there are virtually no cervical and breast cancer screening and treatment facility in my country. There is no diagnostic radiology equipment for cancer treatment. There is no oncology center. There are very few nurses and doctors who are trained in cancer care. There are very few to no healthcare personnel to provide public education on prevention, do early diagnosis, administered intervention, or manage cancer at all levels. Women in my country are also the poorest citizens, living on an earning less than $1 a day. Cultural attitude to cancer among women in Sierra Leone are also not helping. There is fear and resignation to death once a person is diagnosed with cancer. Your Excellencies, Sierra Leonean women are dying in their thousands every year as a result of cancer. Sierra Leonean women are dying needlessly of cancer. The over 4 million Sierra Leonean women collectively ask in one voice for help with cancer. I call on Mark and the development organizations and philanthropists to help us train our doctors and nurses in cancer care. I am aware of the Mark Oncology Fellowship Program, which focuses on building professional cancer care capacity. We also need diagnostic equipment, capacity for detecting cancer. We need funding for public education and advocacy programs on cancer. Most importantly, Sierra Leonean women need, and urgently so, a specialized cancer treatment hospital that will provide affordable, equitable, and local care to all our women. This is both an appeal and a challenge to MAC and all other organizations. You can save the lives of thousands of Sierra Leonean women by helping generously in all of the above critical areas of need, and most especially in helping Sierra Leonean women get National Cancer Care Center for the first time ever. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, by committing to establish a dedicated cancer care center, the World and MAC Cancer Initiative can demonstrate compassion, fairness, and equity for the thousands of Sierra Leonean women who died agonizingly and needlessly every year. Sierra Leone is in desperate need of a cancer care center and in far more urgent need than any other country in African sub-region. The MAC Oncology Fellowship has never selected any Sierra Leonean healthcare worker for the MAC Oncology Fellowship Program. The program should train Sierra Leonean healthcare professionals. I am confident MAC and other global health institutions represented here have heard and will respond to my country's appeal. I believe that this year's conference will bring about a turnaround in the fertility and cancer situation in Sierra Leone. We owe it to the thousands of my fellow Sierra Leonean women who suffered neglect and abuse as a result of infertility. We owe it to the thousands of fellow Sierra Leonean women who died of cancer every year. The world should not allow cancer to be a sure death sentence for Sierra Leonean women. Let us make a cancer care center that provides local, equitable, and quality cancer care in Sierra Leone a reality by 2019. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to participate in this session. I want to take this opportunity to also thank the government of Senegal and my dear sister, Mrs. Mariam Fall, for her hospitality. Also thanking Professor Frank and Dr. Kelej for considering my country, Sierra Leone. I am honored to be an ambassador for MAC More Than a Mother initiative. I look forward to working with MAC as they continue to improve health facilities around the world, and I hope they will consider my country as a top priority this time. Thank you all very much for your kind attention.